Welcome to Reanimation, the series that looks at some of your favourite games, the ingenuity behind beautiful effects, and how to achieve it in your own projects. I'm your host Doug, and this venture is covering Vertex painting and in-engine material layering. Vertex painting has been around since the early days of 3D, often used as a cheap way to apply colour without texture maps. Something you'll have discovered if you've ever downloaded models from older games, such as Mario 64 or Spyro. Vertex painting is a similar setup to texture painting, however you paint directly onto the model's vertices rather than on a texture. This means that your mesh needs enough geometric detail to be able to utilise this to great effect, but depending on your game's limits, this could still be a worthy trade-off from a texture. Vertex painting is still a technique used today, however the purpose has greatly shifted. In most cases, vertex painting is used to create masks and blend between different textures, rather than to replace textures entirely. A simple way this can be set up is by separating your vertex painting information into its separate RGB channels and by using each colour as a different material. Perhaps as a way to add damage, grime, or even moss, which can be further enhanced by utilising your material's height information. Naughty Dog make great use of this technique as demonstrated in their GDC talk, used to blend multiple versions of the same material. It's interesting to note that Naughty Dog separate their vertex painting into different layers to allow them to get even more channels for painting on. If textures aren't something you're limited by, you may be interested in a more procedural workflow for props. In a similar way to baking normals for an object to get more detail, you can also bake masks such as cavity, cloth, detail, damage, and ID maps. These maps can be used to blend multiple material layers together and even allow you to adjust grime and damage on a per object basis, allowing you to create variants of the same object, as well as helping to maintain consistency over your materials in a project. Sumo Digital did a very well orchestrated talk on this workflow, whilst also drawing attention to other studios who use this technique. They go more in depth and demonstrate procedural damage as well as other things they've picked up in their time using it. For Dougville, we can use painting.